Welcome to Slasher Sunday. So moving on, finishing up the Laid to Rest franchise as of now. Supposedly a 3 will come out one day, but as of now, we've only got 2 of these things. ChromeSkull Laid to Rest 2. Now, I made a video on this obviously last Sunday, and I was pretty high on the first one. I was talking about it being comparative to like a Terrifier and wondering why that wasn't getting more praise. And me saying that actually got me into a couple little disagreements with friends of mine who went and watched it because I said that, and they were like, "What are you talking about? This is shit." Okay. We're not going to always agree, and that's totally fine. I tell you guys my opinion, and I try to explain why I liked it the way I liked it. So there you go. But yeah, it was funny. I had a friend of mine who likes everything. He likes the shittiest movies on planet Earth. And he just kind of kept writing me through it, kind of being an asshole. Being like, "This is ever going to get good? Oh my god, like, is there anything better to this? And why'd you recommend this to me?" And I was like, "I didn't fucking recommend this to you, okay? I told you I liked it, and I told you why. So, if you don't like it, shut it off and shut the fuck up." There you go. Anyway, if you hear any audio distortion, I am 100% positive that every audio issue I'm having these days is my phone, which I'm replacing ASAP, so you won't have to deal with them very much longer. But moving on from that, I will say that this unfortunately was a pretty big downgrade for me. I was expecting much better, much more out of this one. With the second one, with a better budget and with better actors, you got Danielle Harris in here, you've got Brian Austin Green in here, you have more talent. Now, the first movie did have Kevin Gage, who's pretty awesome, which I liked him a lot in that movie. Danielle Harris's character in this, it's Danielle Harris, so I was like looking at her, I was like looking, having her on the screen, I like that kind of stuff, but her character is very throwaway for me. I couldn't tell you a goddamn thing about her, except for she's like an assistant. So, this whole like setup of this movie, so ChromeSkull has been fucking annihilated at the end of the first movie. His face is laid to waste. This movie shouldn't be called ChromeSkull. This movie should be called No Skull. This guy's whole fucking front of his face and skull are melted away at the end of the first one. He's gone. He's donezo. Get it over with. Put this guy in a fucking body bag. But no, he still has a heartbeat, so they bring him back and they do some surgery to restore his face, and all of that, all the FX within that are freaking fantastic. All the FX work. So what this movie is a very subpar slasher film with great practical effects. Now, that's the way a lot of people feel about the first one, and I can see that because the lead of the first one isn't very good. She's the weakest link of that movie by far, for sure. But I really liked the supporting characters in that one. I just did. So that elevated the film for me pretty dramatically. Within this one, they actually try to build up the final girl, and the final girl in this is a better actress, no doubt about it. But they give her this interesting opening where she's like suffering from eye problems and blindness, and and I'm thinking, okay, this is gonna build to something. And it's just like, no, Danielle Harris kind of tracked her down for ChromeSkull, showed him to her, so he has some new obsession to go after. What he does with these girls, I don't know. He like kisses one of their corpses or something. Is he fucking these things? I don't understand what the whole whatever he calls it in this. I wrote it down. What does he call it? Like he says that your operation. He says, I think, something else in this movie. Organization. That's the word. He has some full-on organization of and people working for him, and he has like higher-ups and like assistants and all. For what reason? Like, I don't know. Do you know? I can't figure it out. I don't know what the fuck this is going. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. So he hires people, and then Brian Austin Green's character, who, there's something interesting about that going on. Like, he's this wannabe ChromeSkull, and he wants to overthrow or be a sidekick or something. But he's not very skilled with it. He's not very proficient with it. I think he commits his first kill in the movie. The detectives even say that. It's like, oh, this is sloppy. This is a first time killer. Now, whether or not that's true, who knows? Just because they said it doesn't mean it's true, but it seems to be fairly true. But he has this murderous streak and he wants to be like ChromeSkull, and that's the most interesting stuff in the film for me. But then if I try to actually think about anything, like what is this organization? What is this operation that they're trying to get? Like that, maybe that will be explained in 3, and that'll kind of push aside some of my issues with this film. But that even being said, I don't really give a shit with this film being on. Now, this film shouldn't rely on other films to come in and fill the blanks that much. I'm fine with their things being open-ended, and you have planned sequels in the future, and you're going to explain some of those later. But the core issues should be discussed and addressed, especially if you don't even know if a third one is going to exist. If it's like the Lord of the Rings trilogy or something, where it's obviously like, dude, there's another one, it was filmed together, that's a completely different scenario. But with this one, this should remain pretty self-contained. And the way that they handle things in this film, nope. So they take the final girl, they give her something kind of interesting in the beginning, throw it away. Then they take the Brian Austin Green character and him wanting to imitate or, take up his mantle. I don't even know why he bothers saving him in the opening if he just wants to take over his job. And what are they show up with the police and the ambulance, and so they're like in cahoots with law enforcement, that they have like that kind of power. But like, where does this power stem from? Who is ChromeSkull? Does he have some kind of high position in political office, or like the fucking mafia or cartel, or like what in the hell is happening here? There's not even an attempt at an explanation. So, and it's not even that I need an explanation in everything, but I need to believe that an explanation exists. Like, to set something up like this, that I feel like something was in mind with this. It just feels like they're trying to make this bigger. Like, oh, it's bigger than you thought. Like, there's a bunch of people that work for ChromeSkull, and he's got power, and they even work with the cops. Oh shit, like, isn't that scary? Isn't that crazy? And it's like, that seems extremely unbelievable, and I'm going to need a little more information on that. So if you're just not going to give me any, then you shouldn't put it in the film. Just have him be a fucking killer. I don't need Michael Myers, much like in Halloween 6, Curse of Michael Myers. I don't need a fucking cult behind him. I don't need a bunch of people pulling the strings. I just want to see Michael Myers go in and kill people. I'm fine with changing things up a little bit, but and I think that the producer's cut and even a decent amount of the theatrical cut, actually more of the theatrical cut. I prefer the producer's cut's first 2/3 and then the last third of the theatrical. So I think I said that backwards. I like the theatrical cut's explanation of why the Cult of Thorn exists and what they're doing. Like, at least that's explained. Even if maybe it's stupid and ridiculous and give me fucking something. Give me something, man. But this is just ridiculous. A lot of overuse of shaky cam in this. Like, they're trying to, like, I don't know, heighten the atmosphere of a situation, make it more tense or, unhinged or something. And it's just, it seemed very lazy and very amateur, and the way this movie looks is dreadful. Now, this film doesn't look any better or worse than the first film, but it's some reason just never bothered me in the first one. But because I wasn't enjoying this one, the quality of the actual filmmaking was becoming much more apparent as the film went on. I was like, oh god, this even looks like shit. So that was a big bummer. And there's this one where he throws a knife, sticks it in a girl's face, grabs it, pulls the knife up, and cuts the whole side of her face off. Freaking awesome, man. And I like that. I don't have a problem with hearing his voice. I'm not that person. It's like, oh, he didn't speak in the first one, so he definitely can't speak in this one. I don't get people like that. Like, just because he didn't speak in the first one doesn't mean he can't speak in this one. He doesn't need to. But in this one, you know, they want to keep it true to the slasher kind of motif of like our killer doesn't speak. I don't. I find it odd that antagonists for a series like Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, don't have any lines, and people love that and don't want that. Don't want them to ever speak. They don't want them to ever have anything. I'm not saying Jason should ever speak or anything. It's just that how are you carrying 11, 12 films in a franchise with the main character of your film being a character that literally all they do is just kill people in new inventive ways? That's it. That's their entire purpose in the film, and that's what everyone's there to see. So they're basically there for the kills, and that's that. And I guess, I don't know, I guess I like my slashers, as I'm wearing a Halloween shirt. And I love Halloween, as you know, and I love Michael Myers. It's just funny to me that when Rob Zombie had Michael Myers speak in Halloween 2, his Halloween 2, people freaked the fuck out. And it was like, you really don't want to see anything different? Like, ever? Really? You just want to see like 20 fucking Michael Myers movies in a row where he just does the same shit every single movie? Really? Okay. I don't know. I'm just someone that's like, change it up. Take some risks. Fuck it, man. You know? Sometimes you get a Halloween Resurrection. And sometimes, you know, you get much, much better stuff than that. I like how clumsy and clunky Brian Austin Green's character is in this with his killings. I like that he's just inferior to ChromeSkull, but he really wants to like take up his mantle, become his Robin. He's like, teach me. But I feel like he is going behind his back. Obviously, he's really kind of going against his wishes and trying to take over the operation for himself, whatever the fuck that operation is. And so ChromeSkull teaches his ass a lesson and just hacks at his throat as he's hanging there, and then his head comes off and his whole body falls away, and he turns the head around, and it's a great looking head. The practicals in this movie are fantastic. I will give the movie that 100%. The kills in this movie are great. Absolutely worth a watch just for that. If you could just find a like YouTube video of all the kills in this movie or even in the franchise, you will see the good majority of what you need to see within both of these films. Not that I didn't like a lot in the first one, I did. But I think what people are really going to want to see in these films could be condensed to about 5 minutes. And they probably be good from there. So that might be a thing. Maybe that like kill count show or whatever the hell that thing is called. I've watched maybe an episode or two. It's cool. It's just, I don't know. I'd rather just watch the movies and count them for myself. And the organization in this kind of reminds me of like at the end of Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, of like where that guy pulls up in the limo and is like, we've been doing this for years and this and that. That's some wacko shit. Like, I don't know what they were thinking with that one. As I said though, like, take a risk. Like, I'm much more into like the risks taken in The Next Generation than were taken in like Texas Chainsaw 3D. I don't know. Like, I know people like that one way more. It's just, I don't know. Even though that Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation is a total fucking failure in so many ways, I do love Matthew McConaughey's performance in that movie, though. I don't give a shit what anybody says. He's fucking fantastic in that movie, and I love it. And he's probably my saving grace, and it's probably why I defend that movie, is because he's just so nuts and so over the top. And goddamn, if he wasn't in a better Texas Chainsaw movie, people would love his ass. He's like the Drayton Sawyer, you know. He's that absolute like iconic character of that film for me. But anyway, but yeah, so I don't know. This film just, the whole like organization thing, I guess, is what keeps throwing me. As I said, it's like Texas Chainsaw. It's like it comes out of nowhere, and you're just like, why? Like, why is this in here? What does this do? And if you're gonna do this, commit to it. You know, give it more. I know, I don't have the budget to do exactly what I wanted. You don't need the budget, man. Have Danielle Harris and Brian Austin Green talk it out a little bit. Give us some exposition. What the fuck they're even doing. But, yeah, I guess they're saving that for the third movie. And don't underutilize Danielle Harris. It said, like, special guest appearance. She's in this a lot. Like, she's in this for probably a cumulatively 7-10 minutes. I mean, that's much more than a special appearance. A special appearance is like 20 seconds. So, if you have Danielle Harris for 7 to 10 minutes in a film, like, use her. Really use her to the utmost degree. The opening of this movie starts right where the last one left off, which was pretty cool. And we get a recasting of the final girl of the first one, who takes a shower, shows her titties, and then gets herself killed, and then like sliced down the center. You know, it is what it is. I don't even know what the point of her bringing her back was, except for like to show that you can't get away. Like, you're just doomed. They'll find you, kind of thing. I guess that's fine. Just, I wonder why she got recast. I know the first girl's not very good, so maybe that's what it was. And they're like, we'll recast. But I feel like they could have done it in a way where we never even saw this girl's face. And we could have just assumed it was her. Because she doesn't really have any lines or much or anything. So they could have just wrote around that. Like, showed the opening of the movie and then just kind of have like a double, like where her head down and everything. And just... she tries to get in the shower. You can still show her titties if you want, all that stuff. I'm not going to object, of course. And then just have her killed. You know, you can just kind of show her at angles where she's screaming, and it's like obvious. Like, all of us would be like, "Oh, she got recast," but that's cool. Like, just showing someone new for like a minute, I don't know, just kind of feels lame to me. And let's see, the knife. So, Brian Austin Green's character, he sticks his fucking knife through this guy's head and then saws up through his head, and his head keeps splitting and finally breaks open, and he falls on the ground, and like the shit in his head falls out. Amazing kill. Might be the best in the franchise. It's phenomenal. Holy shit, is that graphic. That's like the Bone Tomahawk Terrifier scene where the person's chopped in half, but just a head, and he just saws, and it's just kind of opening more and more and more, and it just splits open. It's seriously fantastic stuff. Oh my god, I was like, wow, what an effect. Really, really impressed with that one. His face reveal in this, his Jason Voorhees reveal of his face in this, is great. He looks like Mason Verger from Hannibal or something, Gary Oldman's, and it's really great stuff. It really is. It kind of looks like Cropsy, without the scar, like the burn scar tissue. Kind of still has like that similar feature in a way, if you know what I mean. I loved it. I loved the look of him when he took his mask off. That was really cool stuff. Then this guy gets his head like dipped into this liquid. I think it might just be water, and he has him electrocuted. So it's just like he's sitting there and his face is getting electrocuted. I think that's what it is. But the guy's face just starts to fucking melt, and then he just smashes his head. Very reminiscent of Jason X and the liquid nitrogen kill. But you know, yet another one, pretty cool. Not as good as the liquid nitrogen one for sure, but still a cool kill. I did like it. And blah blah blah. And then the brother from the first movie who gets killed, the guy from That Thing You Do, he plays another character in this movie where he's like a FBI agent or something for 5, 10, like probably 15 seconds altogether. It was like, are these guys like best friends, him and the director? Like, why is he in this movie again for like a very bit cameo? I have no idea. That was interesting. And then ChromeSkull goes to Hollywood, and this is supposed to be the tease for the third movie, I suppose, if we ever see it. Exhumed, as it is tentatively called at the moment. I think I said everything. He makes that like Chinese throwing star knife out of his blades, and he spins it on this like freaking fidget spinner type of thing. It's like a death fidget spinner. Which is what he cuts that guy's head in half with, and it kind of like scissors as well. Did they like Scissor. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. It's a bummer that I didn't like this one more, but I tried to talk about it as much as I could. But yeah, I was underwhelmed by this one. That's a damn shame. That's a damn shame. I hope they make 3 though, and kind of bring it back and even make it better than the first one. You know, explore this whole. Now you have to explore this whole operation that he's got going on. Please explore that. Please explain it in this next one. So, until then, adios.